Sweden, earlier today, defeated defending champions and four-time winners, the United States, 5-4 on penalties in one of the second-round matches at the ongoing Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Both teams played out a goalless draw within regulation and extra time. The result adds to a growing list of upsets thus far recorded in the competition, including the Reggae Girls of Jamaica's 0-0 group stage result against Brazil, which ended the South American Giants' participation, as well as Colombia's defeat of two-time champions at the same stage, which eventually accounted for the sudden exit of the European superpowers. In the meantime, the Super Falcons of Nigeria are on a glorious run of results, which has set them up for tomorrow's blockbuster second-round encounter with the Lionesses of England. Victory for Nigeria will take them to the quarterfinals and equal their best ever performance achieved during the USA 1999 Women's World Cup. Abi Iyomon is a Rise sports anchor, and she joins us here to evaluate the journey thus far at the Women's World Cup, as well as look forward to tomorrow's second-round encounter between the Super Falcons of Nigeria and the Lionesses of England. Good to have you, Abi.
Well, thank you, Dr.
Thank you for joining me. Well, very quickly, I've read some reports saying that, look, the beautiful thing about this Women's World Cup this year is that, there has been an expansion of participating teams from 24 to 36, and that this is what has made it possible for underdogs to be shining. And the superpowers, Canada, US, Germany, they've gone home. Brazil has gone home. That of Germany is even surprising because Germany was rated like the third best in the world, only to be beaten, only to be sent out by, a lower team. So do you agree that is this expansion that has helped, or is it the money? FIFA having given every team, every federation, $960,000 each to prepare for it. Is money the motivation?
Well, there's a lot of things when you look at the Women's World Cup, but one thing that's important is that the level of play has increased largely. The way the women play is not the same with what we used to see about 8 years ago. Now, the increase in nations at the Women's World Cup is very important because it gives opportunities. You see countries like the Philippines getting victories there at the World Cup. But you also look at it in an in-depth way and know that a country like Morocco, whatever they are achieving now, wherever they are now, goes down to investment because it's not just for the women, for the men as well. So when you invest a lot, not just in football, in any sport or anything you want to do, you see improvements. For the offsets, it's surprising, really surprising to see what is happening. But like I said earlier, it's going to show that women's football is beautiful to watch. Still, we look at Spain. Spain got victories against Zambia, but they lost dramatically to Japan. Now, you see that Japan, 2011 winners, they are coming back. So I think there's a reshuffle. It's not just a dominance of one particular country anymore.
Yeah, the gap between the traditional superpowers and the other countries is closing. Okay, well, Africa managed to get to the knockout stage, the quarterfinals.
The round of 16.
The round of 16, yes, round of 16. Nigeria, Morocco, South Africa, which other?
The three of them.
Three, okay, yes. Those three. Those three. Zambia managed to win one game and they've gone back home. But they put up a valiant fight. So what do you think are our chances in this group of 16? South Africa is out now. So we still have Nigeria, we have Morocco.
Well, it's going to be a tall order for Nigeria. Nigeria against all odds. First of all, no one thought Nigeria would progress to the round of 16, looking at the countries that were in that group, but they have progressed to the round of 16 now. Against an English side that won 3 of their matches, Nigeria won 1 and drew 2. You look at it on paper, the English side are better, especially with the crop of players, almost all of them playing in WSL. They are very good. But Nigeria, if they take this game seriously, I could see them being another underdog story that progressed to the quarterfinals to equal their previous best record. Because You look at the defense, you look at the goalkeeping position. I think at this point, Unadozie is like the best thing we've had to Vicente Yama, and she's doing well in that position. She's captaining this team. Nigeria has the chance to actually defeat England if they take this game seriously. But for Morocco, it's going to be a very difficult one. They're debutants. They've gotten to the round of 16. A French side that builds so many top players. I would want to believe in Africa, but for Morocco, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get that victory. For Nigeria, I would see a slim chance. I could say if you go 60-40 and Nigeria could just hold that chance. Well,
Morocco already made history.
Yes, they've made history.
Brilliant play. And also, of course, the first team to wear the hijab at the FIFA.
like you rightfully said, you look at South Africa, they are out now, but they should hold their heads high because this is their second World Cup appearance and they were able to get to the round of 16. Hopefully, because they are on the path. They won the WAFCON last year. So many would have expected they would have gone further than this, but I would say this is a step in the right direction. If other African teams, especially Nigeria, for me, it's long overdue. They've played in every World Cup tournament since its inception. So why should they not be able to even eclipse this and get past England? I feel they can't do that.
Okay, I was checking the predictions of the supercomputer earlier today. The supercomputer says, well, a set of predictions, that England has a 56% chance of winning this Women's World Cup. Nigeria is rated 0.49%. Look at that gap, 0.49%. And then they had other predictions. They said Netherlands will beat South Africa. Well, they got that right, and as we saw earlier today. They said Sweden would win, but Sweden lost. Sweden has been sent out. And then if England is rated 56% and we are 0.49%, where is that magic going to come from? The supercomputer can make mistakes. But after all, they say US will beat Sweden.
Exactly. Dr. Patty, this is
US didn't win.
This is mathematical. They are looking at it from the chances and everything. First of all, you look at the rankings. Nigeria entering into this World Cup, they were ranked 40. So no one would expect that a team ranked 40th would come and get victories over teams in the top 10. So yes, it's a computer and it's going to predict the way it expects, because it's a robot, it's not a human being or whatever. But now, you look at it, when it comes to football, anybody has a chance, even 1% chance. If you take it, if you hold it quickly, tightly. In the first 1 minute, who is to say that Nigeria cannot get a flick goal in the first 1 or 2 minutes? It happens in football. Like I've said, if Nigeria takes their chances tight, seriously, I feel they can get a victory. But if they enter with fear, because of the hype England is coming in with, definitely they will just be played around by the English side. Okay,
let's hope that tomorrow, Nigeria would do the magic. They will be dancing in the streets
everywhere.
If that were to happen against, the Lionesses of England, who are so fired up with Lauren James and the rest of the team, hoping that they will win again.
Dr. Abati, on a lighter note, South Africa played against Netherlands. At some point, they're colonial masters.
That's true.
The English teams against Nigeria. France against
Morocco.
Hopefully, one of them gets a victory against all these sides.
Let's hope so. Let's be optimistic. The other matter that we have seen in this Women's World Cup is this talk about bonuses.
Yeah.
Whatever happens tomorrow, the ladies of Nigeria, they're going to get $60,000, right? Yeah, but some people have been complaining that Samora, that's her name, the FIFA Secretary General, should not have said, FIFA decided to pay directly to the players their bonuses because of Nigeria. So why should anybody complain? I mean, there's a gentleman, Sam Soje, a former Nigerian international. He even issued a statement in Warri, saying that nobody should talk like that about Nigeria. When we all know that our match officials and the NFF, if they see any bonus, they sit on it.
Now,
what do you think?
I think, first of all, FIFA is going to disburse these monies, but it's not going to take the account numbers of every player and give it to them. But I think what she was trying to pass across, especially from FIFA Council members who've come out to clear the air, is that there's going to be a stricter process of distribution of monies to the players. But I would say, if it were possible for FIFA to send these monies directly to the players, it would be applauded. Because not just in Nigeria, in Africa, it's a thing of Africa. In Africa, football players, basketball players, and the likes have issues with these payments. You go for tournaments, you play 2-3 matches, and you're not paid bonuses, you're not paid anything for representing your country, which is a very high order for you to even achieve at all, for anyone to achieve. Now, not just in Nigeria, you see other countries, the US, they come for equal pay and all of that. But their problem with this is, should FIFA pay directly to players? Will their federations also pay to them? Would it limit the amount of money they are expecting? So every country has their own different problems with these FIFA's decision. But for Nigeria, I would rightfully say, if FIFA has a chance or an opportunity to pay players, they should get that sorted out with, because times and times again, they like to cover the issue of players not getting their pay and all of that. And it should not even happen at all in this time and age.
Okay, are there lessons that we can learn from the standard of play that you see is very high, and the surprises that we have seen? Are there lessons that we can learn about developing women's football? You cited the example of Morocco. They have professional women's football. They have 2 leagues for women in Morocco. What are the lessons that we can learn so that our girls can play like Japan? That Japanese team, if they meet the Super Eagles, the Super Eagles will be in serious trouble. From what I saw on the field of play.
Well, when it comes to anything, you need to start, if you want to achieve something in the next 4 years, if Nigeria wants to do well at the next World Cup, they need to start planning from now. Because everything you see countries that are doing well now are achieving is what the foundation they laid earlier on. You come to the domestic league, it is almost nothing to write home about. Yes, a few players like Monday Gift are from the domestic league here in Nigeria, but holistically, you even look at the media coverage, how attractive it is. Why should you expect investors to come into something that has no accountability, something that's not even attractive to market? So they need to have, you have administrators. Yes, we complain about the government every time, but in England, the government, when there was COVID, the government actually clamored for the Premier League to be back because they knew the amount of revenue they were getting from the Premier League. But now, if you're only clamoring for your league to be back because you expect the government to give you money to run the league, the government will not even key into that as such. So I will say, Nigeria needs able administrators who love sports to take charge of sports and who want the growth of sports. That's the only way. They have ideas, they bring in these sponsors and everything, because one will begin to wonder, in the year 2023, players use buses to travel from Katsina to Delta to play games back to back. There's a lot of things. It's a systemic problem. So they need to start now if they want any difference, instead of just hoping and praying to see players in UK, in US to come and represent Nigeria every time they want to play a tournament.
Okay, as we wrap up, Ebi, what's your prediction tomorrow?
I don't know, but I would say 2-1 in favor of England.
In favor of
England. It's going to
your patriotism failed you at this last moment.
It's going to be very difficult, but I would have said 1-0 in favor of Nigeria, but the girls have gone a long way. They've done well, but I feel it's at this point that their dexterity will be questioned, and they just might not be able to, because Asisat Oshola, she's a big player for Nigeria. But I would say for the coach, if he wants to get this game right, she's not at her best. She's not 100% fit. If he brings her on, because the last 30 minutes of this game against an English side that have the squad depth and everything matters the most. If he gets his tactics right, probably 1-0 it is. Okay,
Iyomon, thank you very much. We'll
thank you so
remember
much.
Your prediction that England will win 2-1 tomorrow. But let's see if the Super Falcons will pull a surprise.